Welcome to part two on Porky's Corner with Kent. We're just waiting for him to in. Here he is, Kent. Here he is. Women loving men want to be him. All right, Kent. So getting back to Joshua Usyk, Kent, do you think that they'll ever fight again? Second Joshua, and do you think that Fury into mix and Jabbar? Do you think it's all a bit? Do you think they'll fight these next fights, or do you think they'll juggle it about, Ken? What do you think, Neil?
They'll keep them away. How could Anthony Joshua sell out a stadium again after losing to Usyk?
Can't. Have you seen Stubb prices as well? What they're charging?
I'm sure it's astronomical.
It's a joke. Have you seen what they're charging for Wimbledon tickets? $2,000 Wimbledon tickets are $6,000. But fine.
Well, I've got it on in front of me, and I'll say this week I have noticed I have never seen as many empty seats at these big games. I'm looking now in the break.
What, tennis?
I'm looking at the seats, and I'm like, I've never seen as many empty seats.
It's because Stubb have got all the tickets. Stubb have got all the tickets. If you go on to the Stubb and have a look, you'll see Stubb have got all the tickets, and people are not prepared to pay extra for tickets. It's like what next? FA Cup final. We're going to have FA Cup final where they're dictating about that, like they do boxing. Yeah.
Like Frank Warren used to go on every other week about StubHub prices.
Don't say no about it now, do you, Brick Top? You know what I mean?
But it's just consumerism at its worst. And this all started...
Eddie Hearn started it all.
This started in them crop shows that he put on in the back garden at Matchroom where COVID... It was a fortune for a ticket. And, apparently, they had those vendors there that was like 12 quid for a slice of pizza and all this, like 12 quid for a pint or whatever. It's just all consumerism and greed. And the sports fan now is being the average sports fan now who works minimum wage, the average wage, household actually can't afford to go to sporting events now. Lewis Hamilton came out last week and said, you know what, it's about time that Formula One now actually started making this affordable for people. And I think that's right across the piece now of all sports. It's going to be impossible for normal people to go and watch sport.
Yeah, it's becoming too pricey, isn't it? The man in the street can't afford to take his kids to a Matchroom show and sit ringside, Can't afford to do it. It's too expensive. Or who wants to pay like £8 for a slice of pizza? £8. So if it's a 16 slice pizza, you know what I mean? They're getting £128 off that pizza, aren't they?
Disgraceful. I mean? Disgraceful.
If you do 100 of them pizzas, you've got a lot of money, haven't you, coming in there? You've got 12 grand coming in there, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot. And then
what?
They have to pay demons as well.
But wait that out. 60, 100, is it? Hang on a minute. 10 pizzas, 10 pizzas at £8 a slice, and there's 16 slices. So you're £128 from 10 pizzas, right? That's £1,280 in it from 10. What about 100 pizzas? If you've got something like you've got a lot there. They're making absolute fortunes on these concessions from food, burger vans, booze, the lot, pay-per-view revenue, and now Stubb. And all it is it's like, it's the Hearns. They started all, it's ringing it out. It's like they used to do with snooker back in the day. There are always bits, hidden extras and stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. And eventually, they've overkilled it. So Stubb's been overkilled, hasn't it? The prices at some of these shows for beer, soft drinks, crisps, confectionery stuff, and then food, fast food, is off the charts. So what are they doing about it?
Then when you buy it, you're not allowed to sit and eat it in your chair. So where do you eat it? Where do you eat your food?
You don't. You just throw it at Clifton Mitchell, don't you? And go, yeah, Clifton, put that in bin for me. And while you're at it, tell Eddie Hearn and Bricktop to bring prices down because fans are getting sick to death, are getting rinsed every single day. I turn my inbox on for Porky's Corner. porkycorner@mail.com. No S on email. So it's porkycorner@mail.com. Keep them emails coming. Every single day, people are complaining about prices of stuff at boxing shows and prices of tickets. And Stubb, I can't believe what some of the stuff I've been sent, and people are actually falling for it, Kent.
It's disgraceful, and what's going to happen is the footfall right across is going to massively go down. And when they see that footfall coming down, they're like, "Oh, we need the government to support us, and we need initiatives and this and that." The problem is the greed of the promoters. It is absolutely disgraceful. I would actually begrudge buying a ticket to any sporting event now. I don't think I would ever go back. It is that greedy. Honestly, I would actually rather watch local level sport and support them organizations than massive corporations that are making not millions, billions. It is a disgrace. It really is. It honestly, it is. It's and as well, they're getting a bit at the minute from it. And what they'll do is it'll get worse and worse and worse. And what will happen is there will be a massive recession in sport, massive. And what happens then? So people aren't going to the events. So the sponsors will say, you know what, we're not going to put as much money in because where's the footfall now? That's what will happen. Yeah.
Okay. Ken, I want to get your opinion on Crusher Ben and Eddie Hearn's fallout. And
I called this 2 years ago, Russell.
I know you did, yeah.
This is Eddie Hearn is not the problem in this. He is not the problem in this at all.
They badly advised young Ben, though, aren't they?
This not badly. It's beyond bad. It's beyond
They've hung him out
bad.
to dry, though, aren't they, Ben? Now, aren't they?
Well, not really, because no one's hung him out to dry. Only himself.
He's hung himself on it. I know what you mean, though. But they were more or less telling him, "Look, we'll sort this. They're all scared to death of us. We'll throw a few quid at lawyers and blah blah blah." Young Ben's fitting the foot in the bill like Ricky Burns did. You remember what they told Ricky Burns?
Yeah.
He ended up bankrupt. Ricky Burns listening to Eddie Hills. Bankrupt, mate. Working at Sports Direct.
That's right. That's right. JJB at the time it was.
You know, and so do I feel for young Ben? No, because he's a prick.
No,
right? He knows what he did. He knows what he did. He had clomiphene in his system twice. July 2022, September 2022. Conor Ben, aka Crusher, Ben, you are a drug cheat. That's the bottom line. Tried to cover it up with your big S6 mates. Where are they now? When are you fighting Eubank? When are you fighting Crawford? You're not. You're an afterthought now. That's it. They put you on small hall shows in America, coming out early. That's where he's at. He's gone.
Nobody cares about.
He's gone from really getting 5 million a fight to 150 grand a fight on a small hall show in America, just to get him a bit of pocket money.
I don't even think he's getting that. I wouldn't even think he's getting that, Russell. You know it.
I heard he got 1.5 for that last fight, so in dollars.
This has been going on too long. This is the guy that was going to sue the board.
So no one.
This is the guy that there was more excuse. Honestly, contamination, the lab, the eggs. He didn't take it. It was in a system. It wasn't in a system. I don't know how it got there. The mental health. I'll say just it's. I'll say
Just get a drink from downstairs. Yeah, go on.
it's an absolute psychodrama, and I'm absolutely sick of it. And you know what? I cannot see him fighting in Britain ever again.
No.
He will no. He will have to go before the board. If he goes before the board, they will hit him with a ban. Now, see all this talk about, yeah, we'll backdate it. No, it'll be a backdated ban.
Yeah.
That would be the case for a normal case of this nature. But the very fact that he's been blaming them most of the time, that he's been badly treated, they will not be doing him any favors. They'll do it by the book.
Reckon.
And he'll be given another 2-year ban on top of this. So ultimately his career in the UK is done. In America, nobody knows who he is. Nobody cares who he is, and he's not good enough. He is not gonna get anything off his name in America. The American division, they don't care who Conor. They don't even know who Conor Ben is. So he is not going to generate any money, even if they wheel out knock off Nigel in America. He is still not going to generate any money whatsoever in America, none. So ultimately, he's done. He's done. Unless he goes before the British Boxing Board of Control, he's done.
Yeah. What do you think to his power since the last 2 years had no power? Last two fights, what happened? They went to points, didn't they? Against
points against the guy. The first guy fought started off as like a super flyweight or something like that, and has morphed into this welterweight. The last guy fought was an old man who hadn't fought in over close to 2 years, and he's just really a decent club level fighter who would probably be about a good area level British contender type level. He's going nowhere. So he is. He's absolutely going nowhere. And even if he wasn't going anywhere at world level before, he could have had big fights against fighters with name brand value, but of no danger to him. The likes of the Algeries, the Chris Van Heerdens, them type of fights. He could have had 10 more of them. 10 from this happened, he could have had 6 more of those fights, and he would have been off for life, and without even fighting for a world title. Plus, as well, he could have been over fighting and getting Saudi money, but the Saudis governed by the British Boxing Board of Control, so that's not going to happen either. He's done, absolutely done.
Well, they're going at it, aren't they? There's a lot of sniping going on behind the scenes. I've heard old man's doing a bit of sniping as well. So it's going to be.
What's he moaning? What's he piping up about?
Well, old man will be like, oh, well, we should have gone to Bricktop. Why did you go to Bricktop? You were offered a deal with Bricktop. They went to Eddie Hills, didn't they? Now,
too late.
Well, his dad used to chop and change all the time when he were about, didn't he? Back in there, messing with Bricktop.
Yeah.
So I see that happening. I see them doing what they always do. First they're angry, then they're upset, then you look for somebody to blame. I see Eddie Hills and Spotty Frank getting blame, and I don't really think they should get the blame because they've really gone out and done the best for them. They've even got him 2 fights while he's supposed to be banned from one organisation. They've done well for him, Ben.
They've done, to be honest with you, Eddie Hearn's done a lot for him, and he would be just sitting on the shelf if that was any other promoter. Yeah. They would not even they wouldn't even give him an afterthought. He's not even an afterthought. So for him to get those 2 fights in America to keep him taking over, I think he's delusional. I always said this about him. I don't think he's the smartest person. No, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't think his dad's got this whole thing about him where they just expect everything. So he's done. Where do you take him now? What's he going to do now? You know, he can't fight in Saudi. where all the big money is. He can't fight in stadium shows in the UK, and he goes and he fights in a small casino in the middle of nowhere, in some back room of a buffet in America somewhere. That's ultimately what he's doing. It's just been an absolute disaster. So it has. It's been.
Well,
I'm not going. And to be honest with you, Russell, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Well, who broadcasted it first last week? Me, about them having a fallout. People can give me stick about it, whatever, but wait while you see what really happens it next few weeks when it all comes out. They'll be like, oh, Porky, really sorry, you was right. Yeah, again.
I see him. I actually see Matchroom releasing him.
Well, he ain't going to deal with him anyway, has it? There's only Joshua we deal with at Matchroom, isn't there?
So he basically what Nigel's son was for Eddie Hearn was he was Mark II of the Joshua Project. The Joshua Project didn't work, but he was the second experiment. He was the next one on the production line. He had the name. He was built on a name. He was basically going to be that name.
What, like Campbell and the Stone Atom? What happened to him? What happened to him?
The worst ever. He's the worst ever. So he was the next in the production line of the Matchroom project. You know, AJ had the Olympic medal.
You mean like they had that, what's he called? Sam Eggington and Dave Allen. There's like pet projects, didn't they?
They were more like mid-card fillers, mid the upper card fillers that could have come in and saved a top of the bill if a big name pulled out. That's where they had their value, and they probably still do. But AJ, you know, multi-million-pound heavyweight, Olympic champion, he's the dollars. We need to create this again because he's on his way out. Oh, look, there's Nigel's son. Come you here, sign you up. We're going to give you a couple of fights. Then we're going to be putting you on pay-per-view cards. Then we're going to bring, basically, you're going to be fighting guys with name brand value of no risk.
Like we did with Corey Spinks in America.
Yes. Well, I thought Corey Spinks was pretty good, Russell.
He was one of the best ones of like an off.
He was. The way Corey
off for a bit, wasn't he?
The way Corey Spinks came in and beat Ricardo Mayorga at a time when Mayorga beat red hot, and the way Corey Spinks absolutely out bamboozled him.
He got a draw with Jermaine Taylor as well, didn't he, Corey?
Jermaine Taylor, he went up and down weights. He was a really, 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 really good fighter. So he like Mayorga, nobody pipped Mayorga to beat Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest was the first man as a pro to beat Sugar Shane Mosley twice. Then Mayorga came in the back door and beat Vernon Forrest. Then obviously Mayorga was red hot at the time, making a lot of money, big views with Don Keane. Then Corey Spinks has totally bamboozled him. He was fantastic. Another great son as well was Tracy Harris Patterson, Floyd Patterson's son.
Didn't he?
He was a really good fighter. Really good fighter. Shane Mosley's son isn't great either. He's just a name. He's just got the name. But come back to the Nigel's son thing. He was going to be that fighter. He was Mark II of Joshua. He was the next in line, and look what's happened from that. It's been a disaster. And what they're saying now is, you know what? You are costing us a fortune, and you have cost yourself a fortune with your stupidity. You know what it is? See you later. Thanks very much. Go on.
Hit the road, Jack.
Go on. Get your coat on the way out.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no. Hit the road, Crusher. Don't you come back no more. Cheat. You know what it needs? And I touch what it doesn't happen, but it needs somebody to get a right good hiding in the ring from a drug cheat, doesn't it? You know, I'm just black eyes and all that, but knocked out, and it come out that guy's cheated. That's all it needs, isn't it?
I think even strict liability now isn't enough.
They're not even admitting it, are they? It's like I was looking through some statistics the other day. Rapes in London, who commits them and all that. We'll not go down that route because I can't be done with aggravation. But point I want to make is there's loads of problems with society, in my opinion, and boxing's no different, is it? Really? I don't think so. Yeah.
Cheating's been going on in sport for a long, long time.
Nobody
Like,
admits it when they rape anybody or when they cheat at drugs, do they? Or when they kill somebody. Nobody admits.
just any crime, Russell.
Oh, idiots admit certain crimes were out there, clowns. But I'm on about really serious, where you're going to get some serious poke, serious jail. Nobody's going to go, oh yeah, I killed him, or I raped her, or I stabbed him, or yeah, I cheated for 4 years as a champion. So what it needs. Remember when Marion Jones got caught cheating?
Yeah,
They got her in an
yeah.
office, didn't the FBI, and they said to her, right, you're going to tell us how long you've been doing this, and who'll give you it. And if not, you're going down for years and years. She spewed a lot of them, didn't she? They'll give her 3 months, didn't they? Something, or whatever, 6 months. But she told them everything and how far it started. They said, if you lie once, you're knackered. So she had to confess, didn't she? And the whole stack of cards to tumbling down with it. Victor Conte and all the rest of them, wasn't it?
It's that whole thing as well. And you look at it, you look at Ben Johnson
Yeah.
at Seoul. Yeah. Ben Johnson was thrown to the wolves. He wasn't the only athlete cheating.
No, they all were at it. And if you look at that 10 that were racing that day, or that 8,
Calvin Smith and Dos Santos were the only two in that race that never failed the test.
In the careers.
In their careers.
Because everybody in that race in 1988, from Olympic to Carl Lewis, Calvin Smith, I'm not sure about Dennis Mitchell. I'm not sure if he might have been late.
He did.
Leroy Burrell, they were all late. All of them in that 88 race in Seoul, apart from 2, guilty, weren't they?
Yeah.
Olympic Christie got done, didn't he?
Yeah, at the end of his career.
End of his career. Then you got Lewis.
Well, apparently at the time, and what they talk about is in the World Championships 2 years before, that Carl Lewis at the time actually had braces on his teeth. His jawline was expanding, as a man in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
They called that at the time, it was the growth hormone games. There was other information that came out that he failed a test for a stimulant that they put down as ginseng that he got off with. So you look at all them guys then who look at Ben, for instance. Ben's record was rescinded, was taken off. He lost his Olympic medal. But you also look at what actually his career was over.
You mean
Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson, yeah.
His career was over after that. Really, really done.
Yeah, they won't give him any meets, would they?
But you look at sprinters from that who have failed the test and they've been okay. They've Justin Gatland. Look at Tim Montgomery, Justin Gatland. All these athletes have had Asafa Powell, Tyson Gay. All these guys have failed tests and have had careers after it, and nobody. I feel
Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson's Olympic gold though, wasn't it? And it was built up as a mega race, wasn't it, that he won?
Yeah, it was the biggest race in
history,
Olympic 100-meter history, and I think if he looks back now and look at the amount of sprinters, high-profile and sprinters, who have won major medals, major races, failed tests, and come back in, no problem, and been able to have that earning, have that sponsorship. It's completely changed. Failing a drugs test then was a 4 to 8 year ban probably. Now it's 3 months and you can come back in and earn as much as you want. It's just completely, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. So yeah. It is.
It is. Terry Harper, we'll finish off on this. Terry Harper and Jonas. I'm hearing that there's still Terry Harper's team is still talking about that fight. Will that happen, Kent? Yes or no?
No, it's no legs now.
Yeah. Well, one's 27-year-old, one's 40.
It's not. That fight had its time, and it's moved on. You know, their careers have went completely
Different route.
diametric. Their careers are diametrically in different directions. It doesn't. You know, Terry Harper's been up and down the weight. So's Natasha. Terry's had a couple of losses. She had that bad loss to Baumgardner. She had that bad loss last time out to Sandy Ryan. She had that draw against Sirius Brackhouse. So she actually just needs to get back and win a fight or a couple.
Yeah.
But I think at the minute that there's no steam in that. Until Terry gets back and gets a win and a world title, there's no momentum there.
Yeah. Do you think that Terry could pack in it any day?
I think any fighter could pack it in any day. I just think, I think she just needs to be a bit smarter in selection of opposition. You know, it's okay jumping up and down weights, but making sure you're fighting the right people. I don't think jumping up to welterweight the last time that the fight Sandy Ryan was smart. It wasn't. She should have been so high up fighting Sandy Ryan, who looked 3 divisions higher on her. It wasn't smart matchmaking.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree. What about Jack Massie? You think his fight should happen with Billum Smith?
Jack Massie is the most improved fighter I've seen in the UK in the past 18 months.
Not Parker, Jack Massie, isn't it?
Jack Massie's improvement this last 18 months has been
mindset, isn't it? It's his mindset, I think.
It's honestly he's so much ability. Like, I seen glimpses of that ability there, and I see a really, really good fighter. The way he's improved, his conditioning's better. He's stronger mentally. His technique has improved. Just I haven't seen that in a long time. A fighter have that wholesale improvement in every department, and that's very, very rare. Chris Billum Smith has had that, but through time, he's got better. He's evolved and a better fighter. He's got better at everything. Jack Massie, in that short period of time working with Joe, has been amazing to see how well he's improved. It's been fantastic, and it was always the right thing for him to go and team up with Joe as a coach and as a manager. He's paid the dividends for it.
Yeah, Joe's done well for him, hasn't he?
Brilliant.
Tank against Loma, does it happen? Yes or no? Let me just go for a quick lead. Go on. I'll let you talk on that.
Tank and Loma, it's one of them fights. Is it a cash out? Is it that cash out fight from Lomachenko? Tank needs a big fight. Tank needs to be fighting big name fighters now and being those name brand fights. Going about picking up WBA regular belts and super belts. I think people are sick of it. I think the fight to bring him through now is Lomachenko, but would Lomachenko want to take the Tank fight, knowing that it could hurt his legacy? Going in against that young fighter and maybe not fighting again afterwards, or maybe having a deterioration after that fight. We do know he's had problems with injuries. He's had those multiple shoulder surgeries. He is a fighter who relies on his reflexes and being reactive. He's a reactive fighter. As time goes on, reactive fighters kind of slow and lose that reactiveness. So I don't know. I think Depends what side you're going to offer for it. But if I was Lomachenko, Tank needs Loma. Loma doesn't need Tank. There's Lomachenko obviously could go on and fight Baranchak, his countryman in a unification fight, who's obviously won a world title recently. So that would be an absolutely massive fight for Loma. He could possibly come down the line, but at the moment, I don't think that's the right thing to do, Russell. I don't think that's the right fight for him.
No.
No, well, as I said there when you were away, I think it's a fight that Tank needs, not necessarily what Lomachenko needs. Loma could go and fight, his own countryman, who's a world champion at the minute, in the same weight. So they could have a massive unification fight. That would be huge for Ukraine. That would be huge for their country. I don't really think Loma wants, the Tank fight. I think Tank would want it better because, he needs to start stepping up and fighting guys with more name brand value, picking up WBA regular belts, jumping up and down division. It's time to actually fight the best fighters in the world now.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's Tank and Loma is a great fight, right? Haney and Loma again is not a great fight. Haney and Tank, they won't do because we saw what happened with Haney and Garcia, didn't we? So what would Tank do to him? So they're going to protect Haney, but all this about Haney being next big thing. Eddie's gone lukewarm and he's not even putting bids in on him, is he now?
It was never going to happen. It was, this is the guy that started a precedent of winning world titles by email. And we seen against Linares that Linares was knocked out 2 fights before he fought Haney. Really, really bad knockout.
Yeah.
And he actually hurt Haney multiple times in that fight. And he didn't hurt. Haney didn't hurt Linares at all. So for me, that's somebody that they compare him to Mayweather. Not even close.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? All Mayweather's got to do, when people say, "Oh, so and so is the new Floyd Mayweather," all Mayweather's got to say is, "Well, come back when he gets to about 40-0, and he's been through a few weight divisions. Well, let's talk then." Tank's just got to 30-0 and he's not really been tested yet, has he? So he's got 20 fights to win and be undefeated in them all and go through the weights and do what Mayweather's done. Nobody's going to be able to do it, are they?
No, and I think
not
it's
in
all
this
down...
day and age, Kent. Not in this day and age, because the mind is all about protecting that. Oh, whereas Mayweather beat 20 world champions, didn't he? 20 wins.
Gabriel, you look at his very first world title fight against a red hot. What a fighter! Monster. That guy was a monster, Russell.
What did Mayweather do to him in his first world title fight?
It was like
tapping him on the head at the end of every round, wasn't he?
It's just crazy. It was crazy.
Did you know Mayweather paid for his funeral a couple of years ago?
I believe that.
Yeah, he did. He paid for his funeral, so he's not all bad, is he, Floyd Mayweather?
It's just an act.
Floyd Mayweather. But yeah, like I said, when I saw it, I didn't see that when it happened because I was doing porridge at the time, but I saw it when I got out, and I was like, and I was still reading Ring magazine all the time in prison and boxing news. Mayweather was massive when he turned pro, wasn't he?
My first,
wasn't he?
My first recollection of Floyd Mayweather was I used to buy the tapes. I used to get Boxing Monthly and order the videotapes, of fights, VHS, and had a compilation of Floyd Mayweather. And the first fight I ever seen Floyd Mayweather in was against Diego Chico Corrales. Now I'd seen Corrales fighting on.
Who was undefeated, wasn't he, at the time?
I seen Diego Corrales against Justin Duco, I seen him against the
The old-
status quo at that time of that division. The guys coming through, and Cross was just a big, strong, aggressive box puncher. Really, really good fighter. And they were putting that fight across as Mayweather's first big test. And what a clinic that Mayweather put across with Corrales. He was spearing him to the body and spearing him to the head and
He paid his
pivoting. And
funeral as well, didn't he?
I think he did. I'm not.
Corrales' funeral as well, didn't he?
But that was the first time I seen Floyd Mayweather Jr. It was insane. And you're like, wow, this guy hasn't even been hit in this fight against a monster. Now, there was press at the time actually picking and tipping. Corrales had the tools to beat Mayweather, and he didn't win a minute of any round.
I'll tell you a story about Diego Corrales, Shallow, going back here. Probably about 17 years. Dennis had Ricky Hatton, obviously, at the time, and he was out in Vegas. And
Yeah.
Dennis, this is a true story because he showed me emails. Dennis was that close. At the time, he was riding high at the time, obviously, the Clinton Woods, Ricky Hatton,
Yeah.
all that carry on. But he was that close to signing Diego Corrales, Dennis. And Diego actually wanted to sign with Dennis, but that much politics involved. But yeah, that's a true story. That it would have been nice to see what Dennis could have done with something like that. Then, you know what I mean, when he were in the mix. Because now he ain't in the mix. What he's serving up is trash. But back then, 17 years ago, Dennis were red hot, and he nearly got Corralo. We're on. Oh, okay, we're just a case of sorting finance out, and it never happened.
Just there was so many great fighters about then, and there was some really good. You had the likes of Diego Corrales. It was just a division that that was just paved with so many great.
Talk about Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather.
Yeah, Mayweather. Just it was. You had Miguel Cotto as well.
Oh.
It was Joshua Clottey. I really liked him, the African fighter.
Paulie Malignaggi. He was a two-time champion, wasn't he? He went in that mix though, but he wasn't world champion, wasn't he, Paulie? Paulie had a good fight with Cotto.
Yeah, he did. That was that was the fight that Paulie actually had a
perforated brother, didn't he?
Eardrum in that fight as well, and he done really, really well. The hype around Cotto coming up was like Cotto was fighting like real fringe war level guys every other week, not week but every other couple months he was fighting. Then you had the kind of ghosts at the division. You had the likes of Emmanuel Augustus at the time, who was
Mickey Ward done him, didn't he?
Go and check out Emmanuel Augustus against Mickey Ward. There's over 1,000 punches thrown in that fight.
But what, Shane Geary against Mickey Ward? That's a good fight.
That was at the Docklands, London Docklands, on the undercard of Unani Bungu and Nazim Hamed. And I remember being a big Shane Geary fan at the time. Really liked Shane Geary. And
60 seconds to go, Ken.
I remember just seeing this style of America. This was the first time I seen this American style. Lead body shot and then to the head. Unbelievable. It was just fantastic. I've been trying to get the Sky commentary on that fight. Ian Darke was fantastic in that. It was so exciting. But Mickey Ward was another fantastic fighter at that stage. Just that fringe level guy, just looking world class, amazing,
brilliant. Ken, it's been a pleasure. You're a gentleman. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming on.
Peace out, Russ. All the best.
See you again. Pop, pop, bang. Cheers, mate. All that were Kent from Ireland. Women loving, men want to be him. Don't forget to tune in Pokers International on YouTube. I am now off because it's Friday. I've got that Friday feeling. Go on, peace out. Everyone have a great weekend. Pop, pop, bang.